It's 2024. In an undisclosed location, a wrestling show is booked. It is a revival of something. Fans are just told this big wrestling show's going on. Yeah. Giving out tickets because there's going to be merch, there's going to be stuff to buy in the arena, so the receipts, like the gate, the tickets, just give them away for free because this is going to be something that pushes wrestling forward, revives something that people have wanted a good revival of over the years. You walk into the arena, there's no advertising for the show. There's no logos for what the show's going to be. Everything. You've got a few posters of wrestlers on the walls. You get into the actual arena where the ring is. The ring apron is just black. There's an entrance ramp that isn't lit up. The lights are on. There's black curtains up around the walls. You don't know what's going on. But it's a big wrestling event. Today, Deacon rebooks ECW. Now I know what you're probably thinking. Last time they did ECW, they completely ruined it, didn't they? WWE completely tanked it, ruined the legacy. But this time, I have a plan. I've got next to me, I've got a roster of wrestlers that I'm going to be using at the moment. I've got 2 shows booked, and I'm going to be writing down and booking a third one at some point. This is part 1 of me rebooking ECW. So, you're in the arena, you sat down, the lights go down, spotlight on the ramp, music hits, and it is Bubba Dudley himself. He's not out in ring gear. He comes out in a suit. He comes out and he's like, I know, you're looking at me, I'm in a suit. It's not what you're used to seeing, but this is a big event and I wanted to dress up for the occasion. This is something that has been done before and has not gone very well. But this time, it's a lot more serious. This time, we are going to do it right. Today, ladies and gentlemen, kids, you are going to see a revival. And it's going to be a revival that you are not going to forget. Pyro goes off. They pull the black ring aprons off. All the black cloth falls. The Titantron lights up. ECW. Yes, ladies and gentlemen, this is a revival of ECW, and it's going to be done properly this time. It's not going to be goofy. It's not going to be cartoonish. It's going to go back to its roots. It may not be as hardcore as it used to be, but it is still hardcore wrestling. This is ECW. Tonight, guys, we've got a great show for you. This is the first show of many that we hope. It's not a pay-per-view. Or a PLE as they call it. It's just ECW, pure and simple. Tonight you are going to see a lot of awesome matches featuring awesome talent. We have got wrestlers from WWE, we've got wrestlers from the Indies, and we've also even made a deal. Side note, today I read that TNA have got a deal with Endeavour, who own UFC and WWE, to show their shows. I think like the online streaming service. So it kind of ties in with my idea before it was even announced. Side note over. Anyway, we've got talent from TNA. We are gonna blow this roof off. All the fans chanting ECW. Skepticism, obviously. Always heavy skepticism. This is basically this, for me, it would be an idea born out of wanting to do it right. Even if it lasts a year or two and then goes away for a bit. This is something that's to be taken seriously and to kind of help the brand a bit and reinvent it. It would be a revolving door of talent. Obviously, you're going to have a few people that are the champions and probably people that might stick around longer than usual, but it's just going to be a revolving door because you've got TNA to choose from, you've got any of the indie wrestlers you want to sign, you've got NXT, SmackDown, Raw. If people aren't doing something, come on down and help and get some TV time. The idea is it'll have its own weekly TV show and the big pay-per-views once a month. Obviously, this show's just getting attention. Obviously, as I said, you've got the merch and, sales from stuff from the arena. Obviously, people won't pay for a wrestling show if they don't know what it is, or they haven't got an idea who's going to be wrestling, so that's kind of why you're handing out the free tickets. So Bubba stands there, and he's like, "Welcome to ECW." And he walks back. He walks back through the curtain. And then ring announcer, referee in the ring announcer says this next match is for the ECW tag team titles. And the first team that come out are the Alpha Academy. I feel like ECW always had people, like proper wrestlers that could go. Eddie, Ray, Dean Malenko, Perry Saturn, Taz. They had people that could wrestle. I'm a big fan of Chad Gable. I think he's fantastic. Otis, but it works for what it is. So they come down with, is it Maxine Dupree? And they saunter down, and microphone shushing the crowd. They're getting booed, ECW chants, and they're saying, this ain't gonna be the old ECW, the crappy hardcore wrestling. This is going to be proper pure wrestling. We are here to win the tag team titles and be the tag team champions. And they just run ECW down, and their opponents. Tommy Dreamer's music hits, he's still wrestling, bringing back nostalgia pop. He's not going to be a guy that's going to be wrestling week in, week out. Big high profile matches, big hardcore matches. It's more a nostalgia thing. And he walks down and he's got a microphone and he's like, you guys can run ECW down, but ECW, most of the talent have done more than you guys have done in your career. We defined an era. Defined a genre of wrestling that only we could do properly. We were ECW, we were the underdogs, and we went all the way. And if it weren't for money, we would still be around now. And he's like, I'm challenging you for the tag team titles. I've got a partner that also thinks the same as me and thinks he's better than you. Rob Van Dam. Rob Van Dam walks down, so it's Rob Van Dam and Tommy Dreamer versus the Alpha Academy. Now, I would say Van Dam probably could go more than Dreamer. Dreamer and Otis, because Dreamer's put on a few pounds, so he was a bit bulkier. I always thought he was a bit more hardcore than RVD in the sense of using weapons and, his stamina and stuff like that and getting hit and stuff. Rob Van Dam was a fantastic wrestler. So he kind of bounces off Chad Gable, flipping around, suplexes, high risk moves, and then you have Dreamer and Otis battering the crap out of each other. The match breaks down. The legal men are Rob Van Dam and Chad Gable. Tommy Dreamer clotheslines Otis out the ring. Chad Gable goes up, grabs him round the waist, goes to German suplex him. Dreamer rolls through. Chad Gable gets up. Tommy Dreamer, DDT. Rob Van Dam is on the apron, climbing up the ropes as he did. Top rope, 5-star frog splash. 1, 2, 3. Rob Van Dam and Tommy Dreamer are the ECW tag team titles. You want to start the show off strong. You want to start the show off, giving people something to cheer about. All the ECW chants and stuff, and it's all amazing and going well. And you have RVD and Dreamer as the tag team title. August. Alpha Academy, angry, lick their wounds, go away. Dreamer and Van Dam celebrate. Then we go on to the next match, which is remember there's a wrestler. He was in the crappier Retribution. Is it Retribution? I think it's Retribution storyline. I can't remember what it is. I think it was T-Bar. It's Dominic Dijakovic. I think he's Dijak now in NXT. He's the first guy that comes out. He's a good wrestler. He's a big guy. He can take some pain. And then from TNA we have Eric Young. EY. He's another guy. He can take a bit of a beating. He's a bit insane. Fits into ECW perfectly. And then we have a guy making a comeback to WWE after a very long time. He's another one that's just he's not gonna stick around and have loads of matches. He's just there for star power to boost everything, and it is X-Pac. Now you've got X-Pac who can, I'm pretty sure he could still go. Eric Young who can, even though he's getting on, he can still go. And you got Dijak, I think that's his name. He can still go. It's one of those matches. It's a triple threat match. No rules. A few weapons here and there. A few chair shots. Match breaks down. You've got the Dijakovic is sat down in the corner. X-Pac going for the Bronco Buster. Skips around, runs towards him. Eric Young pops up on the apron, clatters him in the head as he's jumping forward with a chair. He falls backwards. Dominic Dijakovic's getting up. Eric Young spins him round, ducks through the middle rope, flips him over, he lands hard, he's out for a bit. Eric Young comes in. I don't know what Eric Young's finisher is, but he picks X-Pac up, hits his finisher. Eric Young wins. Eric Young is and was always kind of a fan favourite, I feel, so people don't mind it. People are happy. Bit of a lull in the show, And then you get Dirty Dom and Rhea Ripley come down for a promo. Again, Dirty Dom's running down ECW. He was running down like my dad was here. It was crappy then. It's crappy now. Like, of course, you guys would love it. You love my dad. He's crappy. I hate it. You know, I'm the future of wrestling. Rhea's the future of women's wrestling. You ain't going to get any better than this. This is what it is. And this is what it will always be going forward. You can have your crap. You've got Dirty Dom. I'm going to be a champion. And there ain't anyone that's going to be able to stop it. And newly crowned tag team champion Tommy Dreamer comes down. No mic, no talking. He sprints down with a kendo stick. Gets in the ring. Stands there. Rhea Ripley stands in front of Dominic. You know, she's giving it the big and you know that. Dom is a bit of a chicken shit heel. So he's happy to stand behind her and she's giving it the big un, and Tommy Dreamer's just standing there. He looks down, looks at his kendo stick, smacks her straight in the forehead. She goes flying backwards into Dom, and Dom's like, ugh, and he quickly scrambles out the ring, and then he reaches in, pulls Rhea Ripley out as Dreamer's trying to hit her with a kendo stick. You know, fans cheer. They're walking around like licking their wounds, and Tommy Dreamer stands tall. Next match is, I would classify it as a hoss fight, and it is for the ECW TV title. First man that comes down is someone that's done very well in NXT, has been champion, has come up to the main roster as well and had a few matches, and that is Bron Breakker. I feel like he's got that Steiner blood in him, you know. I think he would fit into ECW quite well. And his opponent is Rhino. You know, that bloody flat, fat, bulky tank bloke, you know, against a Steiner, basically. Matches back and forth, you know, suplexes, you know, hard-hitting stuff, chops, big power moves. Match comes towards the end. Bron grabs Rhino, goes to belly him. Rhino breaks out of it. Belly to belly's Bron. He stumbles back up towards the corner. He's hunched over in the corner. Rhino's flat against the turnbuckle. He kneels down and it's time for the gore. Rhino charges towards Bron. And Bron ducks out the way, jumps up, Frankensteiner. 1, 2, 3. Bron Breakker is your ECW TV champion. No, you got to push a bit of the young talent as well. Give them a rub. Rhino doesn't really need it, obviously. You've got RVD and Dreamer as your champions. You know, obviously they're not gonna. It wouldn't be one of those where they go on a 4-year run holding the titles. All these older ECW guys are just there to kind of help out. You know, lend a bit of their star power. Sorry. Next is a triple threat women's match. We've got Asuka, Su Yung from TNA, and we also have Nikki Cross. I think Nikki Cross will fit in really well in ECW. You know, her crazy, demented persona. I've got Nikki Cross as the winner of that one. I just feel like she will probably be there the longest because Asuka, she's a big star. And Su Yung, I don't know too much about, but, you know, I would feel that you don't want the TNA the TNA talent ain't going to stick around for long, so you give it to Nikki Cross. Next match, Alex Shelley versus another ECW alumni, Lance Storm, and he comes out with Dawn Marie. You know, get the old team back together. Alex Shelley's the current TNA champion, so it would depend. Maybe I'd swap him out for someone else. But if he isn't the world champion, then he would basically, Lance Storm would win. Because I feel like Lance, you know, again, I think you could still go, he's not going to be there long either, you know, give him a win over Alex Shelley, send the crowd home happy type thing, you know. Oh yeah, I saw Lance Storm perform and he won. Van Dam and Dreamer won the tag titles, you know, that kind of thing. Then I've got a fatal 4-way, which is Moose from TNA, Sheamus, you know, I think Sheamus could be hardcore, Josh Alexander, who was the former world champion, you know, he's a top wrestler. You could even have him and him and Chad Gable go at matches, you know. I think they would be fantastic matches. And the fourth guy in it, after going away and licking his wounds after being attacked, is Dirty Dom. You know, you've got 3 big hoss guys that are going to smack each other around, and then you got the cocky, cowardly heel. I would run the match where Dom spends most of the time outside the ring, because that's what he kind of does. He comes in, hits a few moves, high-flying moves. And then you get to a point where it's Moose and Sheamus, and they're hitting each other. Sheamus pushes Moose back, he hits the ropes. Sheamus brogue kick. Moose goes down. Sheamus is looking like he's going to win. Dom runs in, comes in, throws Sheamus over the top rope, flies up on the top. 5-star frog splash. Dirty Dom wins. You know, you gotta give these guys, you gotta give the crowd someone to boo, and at the moment no one does it better than Dom. I'm sorry. And then we go to the main event, the big match for the ECW World Title. Bubba comes back out and is like, I want to personally introduce the competitors. They are all great talents, and you are going to see a really good hard-hitting match that you can't get anywhere else. Music hits, and it's Kevin Owens. Kevin Owens comes down, you know, Kevin Owens does his thing. He's been pretty hardcore. He's in the ring waiting for his next opponent. None other than ECW, also alumni, although I don't think he was there that long, but Rey Mysterio. Like, Rey is always a guy he can have a good match with anyone. He's a great talent. He's been going, 30 years now, something like that. It's mad how long Rey Mysterio's been going, and he's still as good and quick as he was 30 years ago. The man just does not age, you know, and he will be probably the fan favourite. And then the third guy in the match is a guy that I've seen him on YouTube videos. I've watched some of his matches, and I think he's fantastic, and that is a guy called Vikingo. He's one of your flippy floppy luchador type people, and he's just fantastic. I can't remember what company it's under. I think it's a Mexican company, and I would pay all the money in the world, and I think he would be a steal. He can be an ECW, and then he can be bought into the Raw SmackDown fold, or even do this, go into NXT, dominate NXT, and then go into Raw and SmackDown. Ding ding ding, match starts. Ray and Vikingo are going to do a lot of flips and dives. Kevin Owens comes in, he's the big powerhouse, he knocks people down. And then the match evolves, like you can have your high spots, like people going through tables, chair shots, kendo sticks, trash cans, anything goes in this match. We get towards the end and we have Kevin Owens and Rey Mysterio in the ring. Kevin Owens goes towards Rey Mysterio. He takes the knee out. Sorry. Kevin Owens is over the ropes. Rey comes in 619. Kevin Owens falls backwards. Rey stands on the apron waiting for him to get back up. Kevin Owens gets back up. Rey leaps into the ring. Lands on Kevin Owens. Powerbomb. Powerbomb out of nowhere. Look, Kevin Owens covers. 1, 2, kick out. Rey kicks out, and Kevin Owens is like, what else can I do? And then he picks Rey up, throws him into the ropes. Rey comes under the legs, double kick to the back, 619 again. Rey Mysterio jumps up, gets on the top rope, splash. And it looks like Rey Mysterio is going to win. Vikingo's stirring, he's outside the ring, he's ready to come back in. And then some big behemoth appears in the crowd. He's wearing all black, he's got a hood up. He leaps over the barrier, gets into the ring. What's going on? The ref's like, what's going on? Grabs Rey, picks him up, powerbomb. Well, it's like a powerbomb chokeslam thing in it. Then he picks him back up, hoists him on his shoulder, running power slam. Vikingo goes to the top. I don't know what his finisher is. Does some flippy thing in the air, lands on Rey Mysterio. 1, 2, 3. Vikingo is your ECW World Champion. He celebrates, he jumps into the arms of the big guy, and they're celebrating, they're lifting his arm up, and he's like, yeah, I'm the winner. Commentators are going wild. That is a point I haven't... This show will be done by Joey Styles. Joey Styles, yeah? I'm sure it's Joe Styles, isn't it? Yeah. On his own. When it comes to pay-per-views, I did have an idea that Joey Styles can bring in... Do what WCW used to do. You had the commentators throughout the weeks, and then when the pay-per-view come, Dusty Rhodes was on there. And I think Joey Styles can do it on his own. You just speak to the guy, like, can you do it on your own? If you don't want to do it on your own, we can bring someone in. Do you have anybody in mind? But for this show, it's just Joey Styles, because you want the original ECW feel to it. The pay-per-views, the big pay-per-views, I would bring in Mick Foley. Obviously as a surprise announcer for the first time. But then I feel like, he's another ECW alumni, he can talk, he can go on for hours, and it kind of gives Joey Styles someone to go back and forth with, and he can just sit there and shoot the breeze with him. Because he's not going to be able to appear and wrestle, let's face it. So I feel like that's a pretty decent idea. So yeah. Anyway, everyone's like, who is this big guy? Who the hell is he? He pulls down the hood and it's Braun Strowman. He is basically a Vikingo's muscle. Because Vikingo's not a big guy, and I want him working heel. And I just feel like if he's got Braun Strowman, it's kind of like AJ Styles and Omos, the little guy and the big guy, and it always works. And that is the end. Fade to black. That is the end of the first ECW show. I feel like I've done a good job with that. I'm pretty happy with the matches that I wrote down. Throughout the following weeks, you know, rotating out the talent, having the matches, the big storyline is Vikingo and Braun against Rey Mysterio. Rey's like, come on, what the hell? You know, I thought we were friends, you know, and you do that to me. Why? And then it progresses through, and then obviously the next pay per view, you have a big star attraction. Between this show and that pay per view, there'd be 3 weeks. In those 3 weeks, sorry. Oh, I've got a match here with no opponent. The Alpha Academy captures the titles off Van Dam and Dreamer, you know, and then it gives them an opportunity to have a bit of time off and not be fully into it. They do appear in the next pay-per-view, but obviously you've got Alpha Academy as the champions, and they're more the workhorse champions that are going to be there week in, week out, having great matches. That is the only thing of note that happens. We do have a TV title match that I've got to put an opponent in for, but you know what? This will be a at least a 2-part video. If I come up with another pay-per-view after the second one, I'll do a third one, if it does well. But the next pay-per-view will be part 2. So if you've enjoyed my rebooking of ECW, if you think it's a good idea, comment down below anyone you think that would do well in ECW that I could add in to my revival. You know, any matches you want to see, anyone you want to see commentating or just making a guest appearance, then whack them all down below in the comments. But yeah, if you have enjoyed it, please subscribe. And I shall catch you guys in the next video. Have a good day, have a good afternoon, have a good evening, have a good night, and I shall catch you guys in next time. See you later.